How's it going? Good morning, good afternoon. What's going on? Nice Public Enemy shirt, dude.
So Gavin, I'll let you take it away.
Hey, Tom. Gavin Axbrock from CBC News
Hey.
here in Winnipeg. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Winnipeg, has a pretty lengthy history of activism here. A lot of people may point to the general strike, and even musically speaking, bands like Propagandy
Yeah.
exist. But so what does it mean for you, I guess, to be part of a Canadian exhibit here in a city with such a rich history of activism?
Yeah, well, this is a great human rights museum. I look at my catalog of 22 albums as kind of a human rights museum in its own right. So it's a good match. The entire history of my recording and performing career has been about more than entertainment. It's about changing the world. And it's about, the one question that I've been asked repeatedly through the years is, like, how do I get involved? And the answer to that is everywhere in this museum, and it's in every lyric of every song. It's just the world does not change itself. That's up to you. And so being in a hotbed of activism, human rights, and workers' rights is, I feel, right at home here.
Welcome to Winnipeg. Little thought before I get to where I'm going.
Sure.
So I love Winnipeg and I love the music scene. There was a band called The Guess Who. They were produced by Jack Richardson, and you worked with Jack Richardson's son, Garth Richardson.
Oh
So
my
everything
gosh!
comes
I
back
didn't
to-
know that. I didn't know
everything
that.
comes
That's the
back-
first. I just learned something there. I didn't know that.
Everything comes
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
Winnipeg.
yeah. Thank you for letting me know that.
Well, you're welcome.
Learned something.
Your body of work is uniquely and totally diverse. And I want to ask you, what era do you think represents the most authentic version of yourself? And while you're thinking of that, are you a folkie at heart?
I came to folk music rather late. I always loved heavy music. First it was metal, then it was punk, then it was hip hop. It wasn't until my, late 20s, early 30s that I discovered the Springsteen, Nebraska record, the early Dylan records, dug back to Seeger and Phil Oakes and Joe Hill and whatnot. But the thing about folk music is with the right combination of couplet and minor chord can be as heavy as anything in the Metallica catalog. So I still love heavy music even when I'm playing my Night Watchman folk music. As far as what's the most sort of authentic, like the greatest connection I feel are those inspired moments on the electric guitar when the electric guitar is kind of like a divining rod to pull down ideas from the ether, and when those new ideas come, that's one moment. The other is playing big riffs and watching huge festival crowds bounce till the Richter scale shakes. But the most intimate moment is one we're going to have tonight. It's when I do the acoustic stuff. It's where I feel that I'm most seen and heard as a person and as an artist.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, I'm Véronique Morin from Radio Canada, so French CBC.
Okay, great. Yeah.
And I heard that you're going to tell stories to the audience.
I am.
Tonight, I was wondering if you can give me some ideas of what you want to tell
Okay.
them.
Yeah, my life is filled with rich tales of triumph and tragedy, interwoven with music, politics, and personal history, and we're going to be going through a bunch of that tonight. You're able to reveal an artistic side in song lyrics and in guitar solos, but this is going to be sort of a one v everyone talk about my life, and music and activism. Yeah. Hello.
Hey, Ed from Power 97. Now, you've been carrying the torch for music of resistance change for a long, long time. What bands currently do you see carrying that torch right now?
I have to admit that I spend a lot of time driving teenagers to little league practice, and so my ear might not be to the street as it once was. And my primary focus, honestly, is on my own music now. The amount of bandwidth I have in my mind and my heart is really sort of devoted to writing songs and in the studio for myself. I will say though that I've never, while I was inspired by Public Enemy and the Clash and groups like that, I've never sort of segregated activism into, here's musical activism, and this is the thing I'm part of. I'm part of a global activist network from, carpenters to teachers to homeless people to students to anarchists that each in their own place, in their own time, in their own job, in their own way, are attempting to change the world. So I look at that as more of my community rather than which musicians right now are turning the switch. I do sort of appreciate the fact that Taylor Swift makes everybody so fucking angry. All the Trump people make them so angry. But I'm not that familiar with her catalogs. I'm not sure.
Tom, I guess
Yeah.
sort of segueing a bit into politics. I know there's a U.S. election coming up,
Yes,
and a lot of
yes.
people here in Canada. may
God help
think-
us all. Yeah.
A lot of people in Canada may think, well, the U.S. election doesn't affect us here, but I guess why do you think, people here across the border should maybe be paying attention to the political climate of what's going on in the States?
Yeah,
right
well,
now?
I mean, it's obviously it's an absolute disaster and a shit show what we've going on in the year 2024. That the two best candidates that we can put forward are, a doddering fool and a misogynist quasi-fascist. I think that the key to not giving up hope is the realization that electoral politics are not the only way in which positive change can occur. Sometimes it's a matter of just like mitigating damage at the ballot box, while the substantive change, the real change, often the impetus for that comes from below, not from above. And that, I think, is what we should keep in mind no matter the outcome in November.
Your mother, Mary, who,
Yes.
and we work in radio, by the way, so she can co-host with us anytime.
She's booked. You can't afford her.
She has a history of being involved in change in music in the 80s, because I think she was like
Yes.
a member of. Was
She
it Parents
she founded an organization called Parents for Rock and Rap. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
How much
Before Rage
of-
Against the Machine. Yeah.
Of her has influenced your own activism?
Oh, I mean, I grew up in an extremely conservative, ethnically non-diverse place in an absolutely radical, anti-racist household. And so I sort of thought the world was like that until you get into high school and teachers and other kids tell you otherwise. But no, my mom is a total formative influence. She's a huge inspiration. She remains the most radical and popular member of the Morello family. And at 100 and she's 100 years and 4 months old right now, and remains an inspiration daily. Not just to myself, but I hear everywhere I go, I'll send her Winnipeg's regards. Yeah.
You had a chance to tour the museum. What were your thoughts?
I did. A little bit. I was able to see a few of the exhibits, and first of all, the museum is incredibly impressive in its thoughtfulness and its beauty and the resonance of a lot of the exhibits. And I think that first of all, the idea there is a human rights museum is a great thing in the world, and I've just been very impressed. I look forward to seeing the rest of it. But this particular exhibit is all that you hope it would be. And in these dark and challenging times, I think that having in the forefront of our minds and in our daily actions that human rights belong to everyone in Winnipeg, everyone in Gaza. It's very, very important to that everyone deserves decency and respect, and and to be able to live free and have hope that you're going to be alive tomorrow and have a decent life. And a museum like this reminds us of historical struggles, both local and global, and a reminder that we are not on the sideline of those struggles today, that we are active participants and that we have our hands on the wheel of history. And it's up to us to do something about that.
Was there one song when you were a kid that changed your life?
That's a good question. Yeah, I guess there would be it would be the Sex Pistols' Anarchy in the UK. That was that cassette. Until then, I loved heavy metal and hard rock music, but it was unattainable. You had to have a $10,000 Les Paul and a Castle on a Scottish lock in order to be good and be in a band. I got that cassette, and within 24 hours, without knowing how to play a note or a chord on the guitar, I was in a band. I went into the drama club of my high school, and I just had a $50 guitar, which my mom was mad because she wasted $50. It sat in the closet for 4 years. This is one of the stories I'll be telling tonight, by the way. So you're getting a preview. But I listened to that song, and I was immediately said, well, I can do this too. And there's no barrier between me and being an artist. I don't have to practice to do this. I just have to have will and ideas, and that was it. I was in a band within 24 hours, and that is the moment that I became a musician, and from that moment has led to being here today with you nice people. Yeah.
Tom, I was just wondering as well, this exhibit's obviously about resistance and change. What do you think it is about music that makes it such a perfect medium to lead resistance and change?
Yeah, because music speaks to us in a language that predates written language, like the idea of the tribal gathering with sound and thoughts is something that is deeply ingrained in our reptilian brains and DNA. And music in particular, when the right combination of rhythm and rhyme feels like the truth in a way that is different from any other art form. And obviously from the it can provide entertainment, it can provide salvation, whether it's the communal gathering like at a Rage Against the Machine show, sort of a celebration of resistance, or whether it's like the life-saving lyrics in an earbud when you're alone and feeling desperate. Like music, there's nothing like music that can affect the human soul.
I love how on the first Rage you did a cover, and I didn't know that band. And your cover of that song that you covered introduced me to the band. And I love when bands, whether it's David Bowie or whomever, does a cover. I discovered that band, so you're sort of that.
To which song are you referring?
The first single off the album you did, it was a band from, I was going to say their name, I'm drawing a blank, from the 80s.
From of the Renegades of Funk?
Yeah.
Song? Yeah, the African Bambaataa song. Yeah.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And that was the impetus to introduce me to the band. And I love when bands can do that, do a tasty cover song.
Yeah, then
I want to discover that.
Yeah,
band
of course.
at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
yeah. For example, like Judas Priest introduced me to both Fleetwood Mac and Joan Baez from covering songs of theirs. Yeah.
You're talking about Diamonds and.
Yeah, Diamonds and Rust and Green Manalishi.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What are the rest of your plans here in Winnipeg?
Whatever my handlers have me doing. I believe that shortly after this, there's a sound check coming. I'd like to try to get a chance to see my van that I moved from Illinois to California, and then was the Rage Against the Machine touring van, and spent some time in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, is now here. I'm going to be visiting that van, because I haven't seen her in a while. I've spent a lot of time in that van. Good, bad, indifferent, horrible times, glorious times I've been spending in that van, and I understand it's in this building, so I look forward to reuniting.
All right, on that note, I think
Okay.
we're gonna wrap it.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you all very much. We'll hopefully see some of you guys tonight. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you for watching the CBC Manitoba YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. For the latest breaking news and top stories, download the CBC News app.